Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review with myself, Alex, and Billy Bob Coleman. And tonight it is all about the FA Cup third round. Newcastle United travelling down to Hillsborough to face League One Sheffield Wednesday, who are riding a bit of a wave at the moment. So it'll be a very interesting game, but a game that I think we all feel we should pretty much win. But then again, we said that against Cambridge United last year at home in the third round, and I was there and I watched the debacle happen live, and it wasn't a very pleasant place to be. How things have changed in 12 months, bizarrely and fantastically. So yeah, it is truly monumental what has happened at this football club. If you didn't see my video early on today, please go and watch that after the show. But I did talk about Elliot Anderson in that, and I just wanted to get your guys' view on that. It looks, Alex, as if Eddie's kind of biting the bullet and decided that the best thing to do with Elliot is to send him out on loan again.
Yeah, I think he needs minutes. He's a young, energetic, talented player, and although training is very good and training with the first team, nothing beats real minutes. As we've talked about before, the Phil Foden example is an exception to the rule. Not everybody's going to be able to just sit with the first team and still be great. The majority of players need to go and play minutes, develop. So hopefully this will be good for him. It's at a stronger level than he played at for Bristol Rovers. And yeah, should be exciting.
Billy, we'll come on to you in just a second. Colin says, hi, everyone. My wife supports Sheffield Wednesday and is saying we will need a good team to beat them. We'll come on to it, but I still think we will. Your thoughts on Elliot Anderson, Billy? Because obviously at the start of the year, it was rumoured that he was going to go back out on loan, but Eddie said, look, I want to see him in pre-season. I want to see him in the pre-season games. He did quite well in the pre-season games. He got a chance to become part of the first team. It just quite hasn't worked these last few weeks, has it? There's just something, he's had a couple of injuries, and then he's been an unused substitute quite a few times recently. So it probably is the right move, isn't it? But it has to be at a higher level than League One this time.
Yeah, I think Championship's the minimum he should go to. And I think there's plenty of Championship clubs that would take him too. Yeah. Very talented footballer, isn't he? There's rumours flying around that Middlesbrough are interested in him. So that'd be another ideal move for someone from Newcastle to go down to Middlesbrough, get 6 months on loan there. Yeah, it's gone stale for him since the Palace League Cup game, hasn't it? He played and didn't do too well, did he? Since then, he's not really had a sniff at it. And he, like you say, a couple of little niggles here and there. Yeah, but I just think he needs minutes on the pitch and get the confidence up. And I think next season we could see him getting more minutes at Newcastle. Let's hope he goes to wherever he goes to.
Yeah. There is a lot of Newcastle fans in the comments of that earlier on video saying that they're not sure that Elliot's going to get another opportunity because of who we might bring in. But we always need to have those youthful players coming through, don't we? So, look, for me, he's got the talent. There's no doubt about that. Something just hasn't clicked the last few weeks. And I do think a loan move out would be good. I mean, you've said Middlesbrough there. The teams that were mainly linked when I did the video earlier on today were Birmingham, Preston, and Luton. Now, Birmingham and Preston were in from last January as well as linked in the summer. But Preston probably would be a decent team to go to, you would think. But definitely Middlesbrough under Michael Carrick. I mean, he's doing a great job there at the minute. So, and I think he'd do a great job in to try and get Middlesbrough back up into the Premier League. So, definite. And Alex Garankuwal, from what we heard from Eddie early doors, was when he arrived in this country, he maybe would have him around the first team for a couple of weeks. But this Hartman Lothian thing has picked up a lot of pace today, especially. And also he's posting photos of himself being in Edinburgh. So is it a case of he's just up there for talks to see how he would fit in? And of course, they've already got 3 Aussies playing for them.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's one of these, the in the nose aren't being too controversial nowadays because everything just seems quite logical. Everything makes a lot of sense. Is what we've talked about before. It's quite cut and dry. It makes sense for him to stay sort of close-ish. The Scottish Premiership is a reasonable standard. Some might argue I would say it's Championship standard-ish. Depends on which end of the league you are. Some would argue against that, but that's just my opinion. I think
agree.
It's good.
I think it gets a lot of flack. I think it gets a lot of flack but it's a decent.
But it'll adjust. Some people mentioned him going to Portugal or something, but I think the Scottish Premier League is closer to the English style of football in just terms of intensity and physicality. I think it would be a good experience for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Billy, how do you feel? I mean, do you think Carterman and Lothian would be a good route? They seem to be linking him, especially as they've got Australian players there. And if there was any sort of inclination of a little bit of homesickness early doors, he's got the Aussies around him to help him out with that. So it would be logical, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. It's not far away from Newcastle either. It can be kept tabs on really easily. And the games against Celtic and Rangers are massive games in Scotland for Hibs and Hearts, whoever the teams against the Glasgow teams. Yeah. So I think it gets some games with decent atmosphere up too if he's playing. So I think it'd work for him. And lest we forget, last season Rangers made the Europa League final, so it's not as weak as a league as the Championship, is it? It's nowhere near. Yeah. It's a strength above it at the top anyway. Absolutely.
Guys, just to bring you a quick update on our subscribers. We have had a massive jump in the last few days. We are really, how do we put it? Becoming a very popular channel right now, which is fantastic. And thank you to everybody that's recently subscribed. We are only 12 subscribers away from 16,000. Now, at the start of the week, that was hundreds. And we're now talking about another 12 subscribers. And we've hit another milestone at 16,000 subscribers, which will be incredible. So please, if you are new and you're watching, please do hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Let's try and get that live on the show because we seem to have hit all the other, every 1,000. We seem to be doing a live show when we hit it. So it would be fantastic if we could do that today. So thank you in advance. And of course, as usual, you can donate to the channel as well with that $ at the bottom of the live comments. Alex, you want to mention something on stats?
Yeah, so when we've done transfer shows in recent weeks, there was a bit of confusion about what this whole men's next 8 competitions was. So normally when we look at players in FBref, it's always compared them to the stats of the top 5 leagues in European football, as well as Champions League stats. And then we compared a few other players, and it kept saying men's next 8 competitions, and we weren't too sure what it was. Alan Matthias, thanks for sending me on Twitter, has clarified exactly what it is. So it is comparing your peers essentially in the MLS, Brazilian Serie A, the Eredivisie, the Championship in England, the Mexican League, the Portuguese League, Copa Libertadores, and the UEFA Conference League. So it's like a cluster of tier 2 standard leagues. So we still get to see the stats, but it's just comparing players in those other leagues. So still some good leagues in there with like the Eredivisie, for example, and the Portuguese League, still quite strong. But just for context, if you go and watch any other previous transfer shows, that's what we mean. You insert that when you look at the next 8 competitions. That's what it means.
Yeah, interesting. I Like Coffee's just asked the question, will Dubravka be in goal at the weekend? You'll have to wait and see to what our predictions are. We will see. Nathan, hello, Otho. Yes. I don't know what's going on with the lisp there, but it happened. He's on about Scott McTominay. Now, obviously, Scott McTominay has been heavily linked today. And I'm not so sure on this. I mean, Billy, you shaking your head. Nathan says it's a yes from me. I'm not sure what a Scott McTominay would bring to this squad that would be better than we've already got. And when we're talking about transfers, we're talking about players coming in that are equal or better than we've already got to strengthen.
I just think he's a disciplinary nightmare. I mean, he's got away with murder at Man United. Every time I've watched him, he should have at least a yellow card in each game I've seen him play. And some games, in fact, more than half the games, possible reds. I think if he came to Newcastle United, then the reds start to fly. I do, honestly. I don't think he's that good.
Well, time will tell on that one, of course. And Alex, you've got the stats up for stop. I don't know what's going on with my words today, but here you go. Scott McTominay. I'll try and say via the lid. There, I've said it, so my words are going to be perfect. There you go. Just a quick look at him, just for looking's sake.
Apparently, he's only on 60k a week. Interesting. I'm not saying I'm interested.
Is he even worth that?
No.
Jesus, wept, man. How
26 years old, 6'3". There's a player in there somewhere, but I do agree with you guys. I don't like how he plays at the moment.
Yeah.
I think we could go elsewhere. If we scroll down and have a look at the stats,
Nah.
Dendoncker, Rabiot are on the and Onana from Everton are on the similarities list.
What's his name?
Dendoncker and Onana.
What's his name?
What's his name?
Amadou. His name is Amadou.
Push pineapple tree.
Yeah.
But considering he's in a Man United squad that's doing a lot better this season, albeit not the first few games, dribbles completed and then lots of clear and defensive statistics. You know, we want people who are going to be a bit more aggressive. I don't know. I agree. I'd rather just go in a different direction. It's interesting.
I'll tell you what, Scott McTominay will end up. Scott McTominay will end up as a centre half. Absolutely no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it.
Well, I did see actually. I said some people were commenting on Twitter that he was coming. If he signed for us, said he would convert him to centre half, which I thought was very interesting. But it's not for me. And by the way, guys, please go and vote the Premier League awards for November/December. Eddie Howe is up for Manager of the Month again. How Jurgen Klopp is there, do not ask me. I'm sure he piles the cash into somebody's back pocket, but it astounds me. Anyway, he's there, but so is Eddie yet again. Please go and vote for Eddie Howe. Kieran Trippier is there for Player of the Month. I'm not sure how Botman's not there, and I said that in the video earlier on today. I find that astounding. Anyway, Kieran Trippier is there, so go and vote for him. And Miggy and Joe Willock are up for Goal of the Month. So 3 players and our manager yet again in for the awards. So go and do your stuff, guys. Joe said it should be an easy win for us. Yes, it is. It's live on BBC One. But what we always say is knock the commentary off and listen to the commentary on the Toon Review. Simple as that. I'm going live from, I think, 20 to 6 on Saturday. So make sure you tune in for that one. Geordie Howayman says, I read Nathan, I personally can't stand McTominay. He's going to end someone's career one day. It's all about opinions, though. Yeah, that's what you said, Billy. Brian, good evening. Rachel, good evening to you. Yeah, this Badiashile contract at Chelsea, Alex, 7.5 years.
I mean, he's been on people's radar. You know, I remember more than that, 3 years ago, maybe more, people were talking about it. It was the Tifo football podcast when they were still only just a podcast. I'm not even sure they'd created their YouTube channel yet.
Yeah.
Lots of people were talking about Badiashile and at Monaco. He's been regarded as one of the next big players.
Yeah.
So this move was always coming. We didn't know where it was going to be exactly, but it's just to try and shore it up. I mean, you've got to look at the defensive situation for Chelsea with Thiago Silva's contract expiring at the end of the season, and he is about 94 years old. Rudiger's gone to Madrid. You know, they lost Christensen as well. They need a little bit of stability in that back line, don't they? I know they brought Fofana in, but I mean, I don't care because I'm quite happy if we go and sign players with a 6 or 7 year contract. I don't really mind. I think we've signed a couple with 6-year deals recently, haven't we? So it is what it is.
Yeah. Just to give you a heads up, we're 16 minutes into the game at Stamford Bridge. It is still goalless. So nothing happening there as yet. Keith, good evening. Mrs. Toon Review is in the house. Good evening to my fiancée next door. Piloki says, Howe will certainly play a strong team on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, look, we've spoken about it. He wants to do well in every competition. He's come out and said that. So if he plays a really weak side, he's going to look like a bit of a Burke, and that's not how Eddie Howe works. He is truthful in what he says. So when he says he's going to go for them, he'll go for them. Polyglot says, hello from Micronesia. Where the hell is Micronesia?
It's not far
from his name.
Australia, is it? It's not far from Australia, I think. You know.
Yeah, good eye, another shrimp on the barbie, and all of that kind of stuff.
Tonga,
I don't
New Zealand
is a sub-region of Oceania consisting of about 2,000 small islands in the western Pacific Ocean.
Wow. Good evening to you. My town nation, very famous for seafood, and very last town nation Paul hasn't made poo-poo on. I don't make poo-poo on what is that reputation I seem to have?
Is this the last country we haven't offended? We're getting to the bottom of the barrel now.
Even Micronesia knows me for upsetting countries. I mean, it's incredible. Geordie Howieman says the BBC will be playing all the Hereford clips again. Oh, God, you know. Vinny says, I'm new to the channel, not a new Toon fan, and got to admit, so far I've loved it. Thanks, Vinny. Hope you got yourself subscribed, my man. Carl thinks Man City will beat Chelsea 3-1 tonight. That's going to be interesting. Matt, good evening or good morning. Good evening to Mark. Joe Bentley, good evening. Aaron, good evening. There's some new names in the chat, by the way, which is great to see. Ian Fleming, thanks for your £10 super chat. Really kind, and thank you for your continued donations as well. Watched the Thai video on Arsenal TV earlier. He is an embarrassment. Even Arsenal fans said the same. Yeah, the Arsenal fans who've spoken to me are really just embarrassed by him. Andrew, good evening. Lawrence, good evening. Dean, good evening. Sophia's in the house again. Good evening. Hello to everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Wee Header from New Zealand. I think we gave arse piles to Arteta the other day. Indeed. Kamal, good evening to you. Paul Hansen, Daniel. Annie's in the house. Hope you're okay, Annie. I thought I'd get that in before anybody else does in the chat, but I have a feeling people might...
Annie's opinion on West Brom's fantastic resurgence since a certain man's had been...
Yes, indeed. Is he still your ideal man, Annie? Did you think Steve Bruce could come in and change the fortunes of Bristol City? Mark says Isak on the bench, apparently. Well, I hope somebody... You know what, guys? I just hope that somebody presses Eddie tomorrow morning in his press conference about certain things, especially with Isak.
They won't. They'll say, "How is he doing?" They'll ask an open-ended question that he can ask he can answer it in a really secret way.
Yeah, because you just turn around and go, "He's fine, thanks. He's trained well. That's the end of the story."
Is he fit enough to make the bench? Is what they should ask, and they're not going to ask that. They'll ask, "How is he getting on?" Yeah, it'll be ridiculous as usual.
Absolutely. Rach says, me and Alex are top twins tonight, except mine is like a tent.
I've put this on purpose because I went to the gym earlier. Yesterday, it was like 9 people in Arsenal shirts in my gym. So I've deliberately gone in this shirt today, and I had so many eyes. It was hilarious. Just gotta wrap it.
Rachel's, I know, is a 5XL because she won it in a competition on here. So
I think I've seen a picture.
But it's a nice nightgown for you, Rach, to be honest. You know, there you go. Annie reckons Eddie puts up a reserve-ish team due to unexpectedly high league position. I don't think so,
doesn't
Billy.
Fit the trend.
No, it doesn't. No.
I think you might see 1 or 2 changes, but it certainly won't be wholesale ones.
Yeah. Again, we'll have to see. Vinny says, I'd like Elliot Anderson to play under Company at Burnley. Well, we said this about Garant Kual as well. So Burnley's... but I don't think Burnley are interested in him. There's been no talk of Burnley... interest in any of them, to be honest. So I don't think Burnley's an option, which I can see why people are saying Burnley, because obviously if Kual or Anderson was to go to Burnley, they're playing under a guy who's done it all.
Yeah, but Burnley are top of the league, aren't they? And they're quite way ahead, aren't they? Why would they need anyone to come in and kind of strengthen the squad? Because they're not going to play, are they, really, at Burnley? They're better off to go to a team where they're more likely to play more often. I think Elliot Anderson could get a game for Middlesbrough most weeks, if not every week.
I mean, look, if we're talking about Kual again, Hearts seems to be where he's going to end up. Now, whether that's because he's got the Aussie connection there, which in reality I think is a good move because, like you said, Alex, it makes sense. If there's any kind of homesickness creeps in early doors, he's got the 3 Aussie internationals there. And is coached from his former clubs there as well. So it makes perfect sense. And listen, it'll be a good first test for him in the Scottish Premier League. There is some good footballers up there. I don't care what anybody says. Obviously Celtic and Rangers, it's always them too. But, there is some good games up there. And again, I watch a lot of that Footy Adventures channel where he does a lot of Scottish football because he's based up there. And some of the games he goes to, like he'll go to Ross County, he'll go to Livingston, he'll go to places like that. And they're very passionate football fans. They're small clubs, but extremely passionate. And it would be a good test for him. Julie J says, the only thing I worry about is the physicality of lower league teams. Look what happened against Tranmere.
Wednesday don't play like that at all.
No. I mean, you've done some background work on Sheffield Wednesday, Alex. I mean, they don't seem to me the type of team that has disciplinary problems or would set out to. I mean, yes, they'll get stuck in. I mean, why wouldn't they? You know, they've got nothing to lose. But they don't seem to me like a team that would go for us.
No, they're not crazy bad with the fouls. I mean, they're a very dominant team in their own division. I think they're 8th for possession stat in the Championship. League One. You know, they've only got 3 losses all season. They're always quite dominant. They're a very crossy team. They like lots of long balls and lots of crosses. Fairly technical for the division. You know, they're not running around just clattering people all the time. It's quite the last game 5-0 against Cambridge. They were quite aggressive, but nothing like how the Cambridge game was. I'd be very surprised if it is like that. But they are able to put 2 men up top and spray the balls over. So our centre backs are going to have to be careful. You know, a Jamal Lascelles appearance would concern me with how often they're pinging the ball over the top.
I think Jamal Lascelles will play.
And me.
Probably. He needs some minutes, bless him.
It's who he leaves out is the question. You know, who misses out, but we'll come on to that. Jordy Howayman's pointing out that Karanga Wall will get a hell of a shock when he goes to play, if he goes and plays up in Scotland in the winter. It isn't very warm up there right now, but look, I think he's already experienced a little bit of that when he came over when he first signed. Although that was still the summer, wasn't it? Yes, because they were in shirt sleeves down at Fulham when he was in the crowd, wasn't they? So
maybe this is a tactic because it's always going to be slightly warmer in the northeast than it is Scotland. So it's to make it seem better than Scotland. That's
not a bad move. The big right hand is back with his leftover Christmas cracker jokes. He says, Paul, I was bet 100 quid that I couldn't turn spaghetti into a car. You should have seen her face when I drove past her. Thank you again for your Christmas cracker jokes, big right hand. They are very, very welcomed. I say tongue in cheek. Spacebar says, I think it's a great idea to loan him to Hearts. He'll need to stay off the fried Mars bars and haggis. The Australian players for Hearts aren't from Australia. That doesn't make any sense. Ollie, have you been on the...
he's going to make me Google it now, isn't he?
The Australian that plays for Hearts aren't from Australia. Well, how are the Australian? Interesting. Dean says, well deserved. Loads of good content. Well done. Thank you very much. Geordie Metal, good evening to you. James thinks the fried Mars bars are lush. Have you ever had one of those, Billy?
Yes, I have. Very nice.
You have?
Too.
Really?
Very nice they are too. Not very good for your mind. But...
Well, no, I would say not. But you know, Samantha, good evening. Rachel says, surely we can have 12 people on here tonight that aren't subscribed and we can hit the 16K. Hopefully we can. Stiff says, as a Scotsman, does he mean detest to the fried Mars bars, handle with care? Or attest? I've never heard that word before.
Okay. It is a word.
Even though I did very well in English, by the way, attest is not a word that I use on a daily basis. Stu says a message for War Chairman, His Excellency Yasser Al-Rumayyan. Did I say that right, Alex?
Yeah. I can't say my Arabic is brilliant, but it'll do.
Indeed. Lead us to some silverware and you will be forever worshipped as a Toon demigod. Well, I think the whole lot of them will, to be honest. David Hope said he plays a strong team. Shana says, personally not bothered about the FA Cup. Concentrate on the league and top 4 finish. No, Shana, this is an opportunity, a massive opportunity for Newcastle United to go far in the cups, to create havoc, to get everyone's back up, to piss everybody off across the UK. We want to do that. We want cup runs. I'm sick of going out in the 3rd and 4th rounds of the FA Cup. I want to be in there at the end. I want to go to Wembley. I want a cup final.
We've got a rich tradition in there. We're rich history. When we last won the FA Cup in 55, we were the most winning side in the FA Cup.
I don't understand anyone not wanting us to do well in the FA Cup and the League Cup, to be honest. Tracy says, good evening, the Toon review. I remember the kit Billy is wearing, the banana shirt. Yes. I saw that tonight and it immediately reminded me of Kevin Nolan. I don't know why, but it just did.
I remember Lovenkrands for some reason. Want to see that colour.
Lovenkrands.
Shape maybe, mean more Kev.
You say so, Billy. I mean, nowadays he is looking a bit, obviously he's not in the gym as much as he used to be. Like yourself, Billy, it comes to a point where you just enjoy your life.
Indeed.
Mark Cooper says, no chance. McTominay, he's crap. Stiff says, McTominay is a better Longstaff, but he lacks creativity in the killer forward ball, which is what we are missing, creativity. Samantha just says, absolutely not. Rachel says, is it greedy to want both cups in top four? Absolutely not. Why should we not be aiming for that, Billy?
Absolutely. We're in the top four already. We're in quarterfinals of the League Cup and the FA Cup, as I say, we've got a massive tradition in it. We're due to win something. Let's be honest. We're due to win something. It's been 53 years, 54 years this year. We're due to win something. Why not? Why not go for all three?
Absolutely. Guys, just an update. We are four subscribers away from 16,000. We are moving. This channel is just like the club. We are rising like a phoenix. But there you go. That was my motivational speech, guys. It's good to know that you two share the passion. I mean, come on, guys, give them a kick. Oh well, when you've got your head in.
We are 4 away, Alex. Don't need to check that.
Yeah,
come on,
Alex.
If you haven't subscribed already, get yourself and hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely. Or Billy will find you. He will find you and eat you.
I've got it. So they are all from Australia. Whoever said that, you're wrong. Cameron Devlin, born in Sydney, he's Australian. Kai Rowles, born in Kiama, he's Australian. And Nathaniel Atkinson was born in, I don't even know how to say that, Launceston, Tasmania, which is in Australia.
Yeah, Tasmania.
So all three of them are born in Australia and have that's their nationality, that's their citizenship. So you're wrong.
Do not try and put one over Stato, right? Because he will go to the ends of the earth to prove that he is correct.
They've all played for the Australian youth setup as well, the national setup, under 23s, under 19s. They've all got youth caps. So, yeah. So
there you go. As usual, Alex will get there. A lot of people saying a massive no to McTominay. Ab says he can shoot better than Longstaff. He's got a decent shot on him. Paul Hansen says, I hate to say it, but I think he will play Wood on Saturday from the start. Interesting. I don't think he's going to play Wood from the start, but we'll come on to our team lineups a little bit later on. Angelica says, hello, everyone. Pray for me. I'm listening in while putting a fancy shoe rack together. Well, I believe Susan has actually taken on some IKEA furniture as well, Angelica. So you have that in common. After Susan dragged me round IKEA earlier today, she knows how much joy I get. But Susan unfortunately smashed the place up. She was dropping things left, right, and centre, and causing a real commotion. Ian says it's perfectly reasonable, Rach, to want that. NUFC fan says, I am back. I watched the Arsenal match. I watched your stream and it was so funny. Thank you very much. Cesare has a wild theory. Oh, good God. You have to worry when Ches starts his sentences with a wild theory. But I wonder if Dubravka's only been recalled to force them into spending more time getting a new goalkeeper since they're creeping up on us.
I don't understand that.
That's pretty wild. But anyway, they're about to sign Jack Butland on loan. So if that's the case, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Jack Butland's gone there. So, Cesare, your wild theory doesn't quite make sense, mate. I don't know whether it's just, I mean, he's obviously been wrestling sharks today and it's got to him a little bit, hasn't it? So, I hear their star striker is a Geordie. Sheffield Wednesday's striker. Is he a Geordie, Alex?
Who are we on about? Josh Windass?
Yes.
I don't know which one we're on about.
Well, that's Dean Windass' son, so he ain't a Geordie, is he?
No, he played for Rangers, didn't he? And then he went there. Yeah. I'm not sure who he means. Stu doesn't want McTominay either. We should look for a much higher quality player. Vinny says, very stats focused. I've seen him play. I don't care what the stats say. He's rubbish.
Yes.
We've
got to look at the whole picture.
Yeah, but we did look at the stats on McTominay, and I agree. He's rubbish. I don't want McTominay at all. Andrew says, Dubravka in a swap deal with cash for Madison. That's been mentioned many, 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 many times. Shana says, I'd rather keep Longstaff than the Man United reject. Ab says, didn't he play right back too, more versatile than Longstaff? Well, he can play defence. But incidentally, Luke Shaw's now playing centre back for Man United and having a wonderful time, which is strange because I never thought he doesn't exactly have the size of a centre back. Ray said, if we can get to Europe next season, we're going to need depth. Every signing can't be for the first team. And we need at least 2 per position. And at the moment, we have no depth. I totally agree with that, Ray. I think, when people look at us going for a couple of players here and there, we have to take into consideration that it's also for the future, not for the now. We are building for the future. Julie says she's voted for King Eddie and War Miggy. A quiz question. When was the last time the FA Cup game and League Cup game happened after one another? Well, for us, it's a long, long bloody time. I don't actually know because it's been so long. Certainly before it was probably when I had hair, to be fair. And I'm a poet and didn't know it.
It was very boring recently. I remember getting knocked out of the League Cup against Burnley in August a few years ago. That's just at the beginning of last season. It's just boring going out so early.
Yeah, the year we got to the quarters when we lost to Brentford. Maybe then. I don't know.
That was the League Cup, wasn't it?
But we must play an FA Cup game third round, and then
it was during COVID, that wasn't it? So they're all over the place. So
yeah, possibly, yeah.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. It's a tough one to answer that. I ain't got a Scooby-Doo, to be honest. We've done it. 16,001 subscribers we are currently on. I will feel a little bit better if we get to the end of the show and we're still over 16 because we know that people can be funny buggers. But we are up there right now, which is a monumental achievement. I swear to God. I thought when I started this on my mobile phone, I'd be looking to get 600, never mind 16,000. It's incredible. You guys just rock. Got a new member, Steve Marler. Welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for becoming a part of the family, my friend. You can also join the Toon Review like Steve just has there. There's a little green join button somewhere down there if you want to go and hit that as well as the subscribe button, the like button, the $sign, all that kind of stuff. Sheffield Wednesday have signed somebody today, as Mason's just said there. They signed Kambari for the ex-Hibs striker.
Huddersfield, apparently.
Is that where he's come from?
That's where he's gone. Not Sheffield Wednesday.
I thought he went to Sheffield Wednesday. I've read the same as Mason. I don't know. I seen that earlier on. Oh well, what the hell? I'm wrong again. It's very rarely that I'm wrong, but I'm always right. Andrew says Thomas Frank will win manager. They beat City at City and beat Liverpool. Look, I won't object to Thomas Frank winning. I think he's doing marvels at Brentford at the minute, isn't he? So, I wouldn't be too discouraged if he won it. But obviously, we want War Eddie to win it. Stiff says Badashile is a quality young left-footed centre-back, but we've got the better one in Botman. We did a few transfer shows, Alex, when Badashile was mentioned, didn't we? Before Sven Botman signed?
Yeah, there was a load of good ones floating around, wasn't there? I'll say a load. There was 5 or 6. So, you'd got Bremer and Badiashile and Botman. There was quite a few of them floating around, and they're all going for quite big money. There was a lot of big teams also wanting them at the same sort of time. Obviously, we had to fight very hard with Milan to get Botman, who we wanted, and fortunately, we won that battle. And now a lot of them have gone to their new clubs. So all that sort of crop has gone now. So we're going to have to wait another season or two for the next crop of talented left-footed centre-backs to appear. But fortunately, I say we don't need one. I guess we've got Byrne who can go and play there, but we will need to start looking at one in the future. I think first is to get a share back up, and then maybe in a few more seasons is to get another left-sided centre-back.
Steve Marler, thank you for your $5 Australian dollars super chat. Really kind, my friend. Thank you so much. And Rose, thank you for your £1.79 super sticker. Very kind. Thank you very, very much indeed. Mark's asking Miss Toon Review when the travel mug's coming. Well, funny enough, Susan has ordered herself a printing machine of her own. And in order to try and start doing these or ourselves as well, which will speed up the process of orders, of course. If we cut out a middleman, we're not going to cut out the middleman entirely because the company we use have been tremendously good to us. So but Susan's going to try and start doing the travel mugs and she's got plans. I'm not going into them. I'll be here all night. But there is plans. Devon says hopefully Maxi will start and get Joe Linton back in the middle, guys. In my opinion, yeah, he's got to start. Surely, Alex, Maxi's got to start.
Yeah, you'd imagine. I think he's close enough to the first team. It's questionable when you talk about is he going to rotate keepers, is he going to play Anderson? But we're playing Maxi's a bit more clear cut. We shouldn't need to panic as much. Although they do attack down that side. Of the highlights I've watched of the last 3 or 4 matches for Sheffield Wednesday, they do like to attack down that side and ping a lot of crosses. Yeah. And that is obviously... So we're going to have to be careful because Target's injured as well. So it's more likely than not going to be Byrne or Jamal Lewis. Depends what he wants to choose. I would imagine it will be Byrne, but we'll wait and see. Yeah. But yeah, I would imagine Maxi would start. I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
Indeed. Trolls, thank you for your 50 Norwegian kroner again. Thank you very much for your continued donations, my friend. He says, evening all. And Gary Wishart, thank you for $1.99 super chat as well. Really appreciate. Thank you. There you go. Soon, Mark, working on a couple of designs. Dean says, I'd like to see Maxi start. Look good for the little bit he played against Arsenal. Hopefully he pushes his performance to get his spot back. John says he's just subscribed. Only been watching you for about a year. Sorry it's took so long up the tune. That's all right, John. As long as you've done it now, that's fine. It is important for Maxi Billy because if he does start, he's got a bit of a point to prove to Eddie, hasn't he?
Yeah, he must be a hungry player at Maxi at the minute. He's kind of been left on the sidelines for much longer than he'd have anticipated after coming back from his injury. Yeah, lest we forget, before the injury, he was our best player, wasn't he? So yeah, he's had to wait his turn. If he comes in Saturday, and I anticipate he will, I think he'll be, chomping at the bit to try and do something special, and I think he will. I think it's a game made for him, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting this from Stephen, because I heard this from a number of people today, that there was a lot of press around St James's Park today. He's on the naughty step on Facebook for arguing with an Arsenal fan. Do you think the press jumped the gun? No, there could be press events in St James's Park for anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be football either. There could be a big awards ceremony. There could be any kind of regional promotions going on that the press need to be there for. It could be anything. So I wouldn't read too much into that just yet. If they continue to camp out the next few days over St James's Park, then you can start thinking something might be happening that we don't know about, but we'll wait and see. Devon says, Ty from EFTV is a disgrace calling us a nothing. That angered me so much. It angered me, Devon, to the point where I did a video. Good to see the national press saying how bad Clippity and Arteta are on the sidelines. Yeah, there's been a lot of different, views, shall we say, Alex, regarding their behaviour now. And it looks like, many, many more people are swaying towards the side of it's pathetic behaviour.
Well, I mean, Richard Keys is on our side, so when we agree with him, then it's definitely something's going on. It's just unacceptable behaviour. He's never within his own technical area. He's aggressive in his mannerisms, his facial expressions. He's screaming. He's screaming at the fourth official. He's screaming at the pitch. He's screaming at our coaching staff, at our manager. I'm baffled he wasn't sent off in the game. I'm baffled that we've not had a statement from the FA yet. He needs a touchline ban. It's disgusting. He needs a fine and a touchline ban. He needs to calm down. I've seen a lot of posts from people who work in grassroots football saying that they're being very strict on grassroots and lower league football with this specifically. that they want to set an example. And how does this set an example for them when they're allowing Klopp and Arteta on TV to go and behave like this? It's ridiculous. He needs a touchline ban. He needs to calm down.
People have been, photographing these, but putting Pep in there as well. Pep's not like that. Pep's, I think, especially talking about the opposition, Pep's very diplomatic on most occasions.
Yeah, he likes to laugh sarcastically more.
Yeah, he does,
so.
but he's not like that. Definitely not. Steve Marler, thanks for another $5, matey, over there in Down Under. I'm not even going to attempt to do the accent again because I just get hammered for it. He says, I'm glad Kuol will get time in the Scottish Premier League, but I wish he went to Celtic to spend time with Ange. I dislike Celtic, but good for Kuol. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the Celtic manager's surname. It would be very silly of me to do so. Thank you very much, Billy. But him anyway, and obviously he's Australian as well. So yeah, it would have been good. Darren says, hi all. The result against Arsenal was superb, especially with us. Our next 4 league games are all winnable, and the top 4 are all playing each other. Add the cup games to this, and it becomes a class January. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot to look forward to in January, to be honest. I really do.
Can I just comment about the petulance of Klopp and Arteta?
Absolutely.
The Premier League and the referees have made a big thing about petulance of players. How they're supposed to cure that kind of phenomenon on the pitch when the managers are doing it, and they're not doing a thing to them. So until they can sort out the managers, got no chance of sorting the players out. Absolutely none whatsoever.
Yeah. Good point. Absolutely spot on. Annie says Bruce is perfect for nothing. So I think he's completely changed his mind about Mr. Bruce. Two Scoops says, hi, you glorious barstools. Good evening to you. Stiff says, I'd love to see Isak make a late cameo against Wednesday in the Cup, but not holding my breath. I have a theory on that, and my theory will come when a bit later. The Hereford goal scorer died recently, so that clip will be hammered on Saturday. No disrespect to the player, though, any other club, and it's great FA Cup moment. Yeah, Ronnie Radford, of course, passing away not long ago, so yeah, probably, but for all the right reasons, probably this time. Rachel says, I do use it as a nightshirt, actually. Well, you've got no choice. Either you use it as a nightshirt or you camp. You go camping with it as a tent. Peter says, I would love to see Wilson start, bring Isak on for the second half, and to never see Wood in a black and white shirt ever again. Ryan says, if I go to the gym with a Toon top, people will think I'm wearing a hockey referee's jersey. Yes, the black and white, yes.
But that's an in for you to then educate them, Ryan. There you go.
Indeed.
It's an icebreaker.
Indeed. Which you should be educating your French colleagues of Newcastle United. I thought they only
wore hockey jerseys when they were like 3 sizes bigger than what they were meant to be for your body shape.
Well, yeah, I've got a New York Rangers top in the wardrobe, and what they do is they do replica jerseys in the same size that the players wear. So obviously you've got to take into comparison the padding that you've got. You've got padding and everything underneath. So the hockey replica jerseys are huge. Castore, take note. If Dan Burn can get one easily, so can the rest of us. CKM says Longstaff's better than McTominay.
I agree with that.
I mean, this season, definitely.
Yeah. Rose says, good evening, TTR family. I remember the shirt that Billy, we wore it when we first got relegated. Good times. The Washy Mag says, evening, you lovely people. It's Louis. Oh, there he is with his new channel, The Washy Mag. He did say he was starting a new one off. Good luck with that, matey. Go and check it out, guys. Just hope that he doesn't do it in his wrestling attire, because the last thing you want to see is Louis in spandex. And he says, on Burnley, they don't need any more attackers. It's already unfair on the rest of us.
I mean, It's not like you're challenging at that end of the table anyway. I wouldn't worry.
Indeed. Rich says, Burnley can have Wood back. Louis is back with his wrestling now. I got some good news from the wrestling. I've been moved up to advanced sessions in which I will be training more often in preparation of working. So you're finally getting to wrestle the women instead of the children now. Fantastic, Louis. We'll move on. To Coin of Phrase says, with Willock limping off, I'll expect Anderson to play Saturday. No.
I don't think he limped. It wasn't limped off injury-wise.
He had cramp.
Cramp, yeah. It's not an injury.
Yeah, so look, he may play.
I'm sure he was a bit sore the following morning, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, given the news on Elliott today, about the loan, it seems to me that's the direction that they'll probably go in. Mason says the Australian connection in the Scottish Premier League is increasing a lot. It is. And I think Poster Hoddaloo, or whatever his name is, Billy, has done a lot for that since he became Celtic manager.
Yeah, he's brought players from that side of not just Australians, but a lot of Japanese players and players from them kind of areas, isn't he? So, and he's done well with them, to be fair to him. I don't like Celtic either, but they're the best side in that league by a country mile at the minute.
Good evening, John Sinclair. Oh God, the Cambridge game says stiff gators. Yeah, we'll try not to go for that. And he says Wednesday are not at all physical under Darren Moore, but they will play a weaker side. They're the top 3 in League One and in a proper 3-horse race for top 2. Need fresh legs for a tough trip to Wickham. That's a good point. I mean, we're talking about us, resting players, Alex. But when you look at Sheffield Wednesday and the games they've got coming up, of course they play 46 league games, so they need to be fresh because. Let's be honest, Sheffield Wednesday do not deserve to be in League One, and neither did Sunderland, no matter what anybody says. They're a bigger club than League One, and there's a few teams in that division that don't deserve to be there. So Darren Moore can become a legend at that club if he gets Sheffield Wednesday up into the Championship and even further.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with the heavy rotation, though. I can't remember exactly what Annie wrote, but the next game isn't till the following Saturday. So we play them on the 7th and the next game is on the 14th. So they've got adequate time to recover. So I don't think they need to rotate too much. They can play a strong squad. I would imagine they will. They're at home. We might be a bit nervy after what happened last year in the FA Cup. They're at home. They're flying in their league. They're not used to losing at all. The last game they lost was against Southampton, which is Premier League side. And then the next previous loss to that in their own league was back in October. So they're not used to losing. They are absolutely flying. Yeah. They've scored 46 goals in their league, conceded 18. They're on an absolute roll. A lot of their players are in cracking form. We do have to definitely as somebody mentioned that their wife is a Sheffield Wednesday fan earlier, then we've got to give them some respect. I completely agree. And no pushovers. If they come at home as well, if they're really fired up for it. It's not a small ground either, 39k stadium.
Yeah,
we've got to take this seriously.
It'll be full as well.
We've definitely got to take it seriously.
And there's an atmosphere at Hillsborough. If you've ever been to Hillsborough, when it's full, and I have a couple of times.
Yeah, my father's a Wednesday fan, so
great to go.
Really? I hate Hillsborough. Right? I hate it. The away end at Hillsborough is. I mean, it's just. Captain Caveman country, man. Honestly,
Lane,
yeah. I've got pictures of some of my family in that stadium from. I don't know if it's in that stadium, but I've got pictures of them in and around the football scene in the 40s and 50s. They're a very old club.
It was a massive stadium. We know what happened. We're not even going to discuss that, but it's a legendary stadium. And look, I think it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of investment, certainly in the away end. I mean, but look, it'll always have that atmosphere. The opposite end is huge and
still bigger than Villa Park.
I've been in the Hillsborough Cup, and it's an awesome place to watch. What it was 35 years ago.
Yeah. But look, that's nothing against Sheffield Wednesday. I just don't like the ground at the minute, and I think a lot of money needs to be ploughed into that ground to make it great again. But the support they've got is superb, and as I say, they are such a big club and don't deserve to be in League One. Well, they do if you look at playing stats, but as a club size, they are huge with a massive fan base. Robert is just issuing a simple statement. If Wood starts on Saturday and doesn't score from open play, his contract should be terminated with immediate effect. I agree, Robert. I just really don't want him to play. Header says it's all about family for the Toon. They play for each other as a family. Placing Kuol in a strong family situation is a clever move. Yep. But it's also down to the player as well. That's why he's up there. He'll be talking to them and then see where he goes from there. Fair enough says, they talk like Aussies. Yeah, but they are Aussies. Alex has proved it. Stu says Tony says he's had deep fried pizza. Lofty says Maxi will rip Sheffield Wednesday and you asshole. Can't wait to see him get a good performance under his belt. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, Alex, we know your feelings on Maxi. And look, this is a huge opportunity for him, isn't it? It really is. Because if he doesn't play and he's on the bench again, what message do we take from that?
Nothing, because it's very possible that Eddie Howe just goes, nope, I'm going to play Willock, Joe Linton. I'm going to do the same, because he's done that on multiple occasions. It's not necessarily a negative towards Maxi. It's just he's got faith with players that are playing well in the system and that are in good form. And I think Willock and Joe Linton both had brilliant games against Arsenal. So yeah, if they both come through this week's training fine, they pass all their fitness tests and they're not tired, fair enough. If he wants to start both of them, he'll start both of them. I don't think it means anything at all. I think he's quite happy to let players have the go when they're ready. He's let Murphy back into the team, having 5-6 appearances. I don't think it means anything. But people will speculate. But
people will. Yeah, I was just going to say, if he's not in the first 11, that the speculation will be rife, Billy, won't it? It'll be rife.
I think he'll play anyway. Irrespective. I think he needs the minutes. I mean, irrespective of anything else, he needs minutes in his legs. And we know Maxi, when he starts to play well, he goes on runs, doesn't he? You know, and I mean runs in kind of terms of playing a run of games where he consistently plays well. It's the inconsistency when he's injured, which people are picking on him for. Really, he's not fully fit at the moment, and he hasn't done anything to speak of. Irrespective of that, he's still kind of come on and done good jobs when he's come on. Changed the game against Bournemouth. And I think he deserves a place to start. I mean, seriously doing. And I think he deserves to start. Yeah, I mean, he's got to have a run out at some point. And I mean, we've got obviously this, and then we've got the quarterfinal on Tuesday, which I am so excited for. I am buzzing. I'm in level 7 again, which I'm not so much buzzing for, but I'm at the front row of level 7. So I've got a big barrier to hold on to, and I'll be fine, because it'll be so exciting to see the lads make it to a semi-final of the League Cup. And boy, do we need that sort of excitement. Davey says it's War Cup. Top 4 or a cup with a emoji. Both. Is that a emoji? Is that Lawrence says Tuesday is obviously a much bigger game, but do not want another loss against the League One side, so need to win this, in my opinion. Completely agree. Lee says if we win the FA Cup, don't we get a place in the Champions League?
No.
Not for FA Cup. No.
Europa League.
Yeah. Again, if we win the Carabao, we get a Europa League place as well, because they brought that in a couple of seasons ago to give it a bit more oomph, shall we say. Ryan says that top 4 cup run comment is like asking, do you want to win an actual trophy or a participation medal? Yeah, we want to be in everything. Mason says, I also want to put out there's 2 Australian players playing for Hibs as well. Yes, there is. Spacebar would just love us to win something. I think we're all like that, to be honest. Tony says, damn, I'd like to peel the skin off that banana.
Might take a while.
Oh dear. Santosh, good evening. He says, I hope ASM starts. Eddie keeps playing Dan Burn at left back, which means he will not start ASM. We need a quick left back to get ASM back into the team. Otherwise, his talent is wasted on the bench. So would that stipulate that maybe he goes for Jamal Lewis? I mean, does he? Does he not? Does I just don't think Jamal Lewis features anywhere in Eddie's plans right now.
No, I think Dan Burn's safer than Jamal Lewis at the moment in terms of experience. I think I don't see why Maxi can't play with Burn. It's done a few times. It's just it's not ideal. This is what I keep whinging about, is whenever Maxi gets to play, it's always with Wood in front of him, Burn behind him. And it's just so suboptimal for his play style. He's got no overlap. He's got nobody making runs in front of him. Yeah. And then he just runs, beats one, and then he gets stuck in traffic. What's he supposed to do? Whereas Miggy on the opposite side has got so much more talent around him. Trippier behind him, overlapping, Maxi just needs something like that on the opposite side.
Guys, if you're enjoying the show, please do hit the like button as usual. We are now on 16,004 subscribers. So we have done it. Thank you very much. We are absolutely buzzing. My head is going to explode, man. Never thought I would get a channel anywhere near that. But if you are new and you like what you see, please do hit the subscribe button. Come and be part of the community that we're getting really established here. And of course, the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload videos. You can become a member of the Toon Review if you hit that join button just underneath as well. Lots of prizes to give away for our members. And of course, you can donate to the channel like so many wonderful people have tonight by hitting the $ at the bottom of the live comments. Steve Marl has just hit another $5 Australia. He says, any chance Stato can liberate the guitar out of the box? Not doing it justice, leaving it there all the time and play local hero. Interesting. We'll ask him in a moment. But guys, we also do merchandise, and you can find it right here at this very web address.
So let's get down to business.
I've been waiting, think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me if you like it. Tell me if you like it now. I've been waiting, think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me how you like it.
Let's get down to business.
So there you go, guys. The toonreview.co.uk, your place to go for all things Toon Review merchandise. Alex, are you ever going to liberate the guitar?
Yeah, I want to get some wall mounts for my guitars. I still need to get my father's old one repaired as well. And I'll have them, I'll wall mount them somewhere. Maybe not in the camera view. I think this is going to be improved and continue to be NUFC stuff. So I've got a lot more to go on the wall.
Yeah. Paul Tully says, evening, Paul. Billix and Billix? Billy. That's what we'd get if we ever had you two in a relationship.
Gannon Billix, man.
It should be a good game Saturday and a good crowd. By the way, anyone else get the feeling during the Arsenal game that we were seeing the start of a new war? Oh, a little bit of a rivalry sneaking it. Well, listen, I mean, we could say that about Liverpool, Chelsea, games gone by this season, that there's definitely new rivalries kicking off.
There were a few commentators on the radio that said that it reminded them of the Battle of the Bridge, which was pretty crazy to say.
I don't think it was as bad as that.
No, I
that
agree,
was out of hand. I mean, it was terrible. Geordie Metal, thank you for your 20 quid super chat, buddy. Really appreciate that. Fantastic donator to the channel. He says, congrats on the 16K. Well deserved. Thank you very much, Geordie Metal. NUFC fan says, my dad said that I can go to Wembley if the Toon gets to a final. The tickets are going to be incredibly difficult to get a hold of, though. They'll do the points thing again, and that will infuriate me because if I miss out on a cup final ticket after being... Anyway,
League Cup final tickets would be easy to get hold of than FA Cup final tickets.
Yeah, because FA Cup does a lot of corporate stuff, don't they? So they don't really think about the fans anymore for the FA Cup final.
Every club in the country gets them, even Sunday League teams, So
yeah. Alex, you've got Chris Wood's stats up, and you're not impressed.
Well, I just randomly brought them up because we were talking about him, and I haven't looked at his stats for a very long time, and just thought it would be interesting because of how. I know it's only stats. But I mean, apart from jumping and winning the ball in the air, there's just nothing there. Nothing at all. I mean, he's in the bottom 1%, the bottom 1 percentile for shots. He's a striker.
He's not, Alex, right? I do not believe that one on the bottom, that he's in the 99 percentile of aerial duels won. I am not having that.
I mean, this is based on nearly 1,800 minutes of play. So in the last year,
they must have kept watching the same clip where he jumped with fucking, I don't know.
I mean, some stats that you would want. Dribbles, you'd want some dribbles. You'd ideally want some shots and some shot creating actions. No, just non-existent.
I mean,
I'm surprised about the shots. I thought he was higher than that. Visually watching him, because he normally gets quite a few shots a game and just whips them.
If he'd have had 3 shots of John Lennon, he'd still be alive today.
Yeah. I mean, this is
that's one way of putting it, Billy. Yeah. I mean, that is absolutely dreadful.
I didn't realize it was that bad. I really didn't.
He's in the bottom percentile for pass completion.
Yeah, I mean, but strikers have always got a low pass completion rate on generally because considering his job is link up, that's poor.
My God,
Wilson's job isn't really link up; it's to take the ball and try it himself. Whereas Wood is expected to try and hold the ball up, flick it on, pass it. It's the shots that has got me down. That's your job. It's literally your job. Shoot, you're a striker.
Yeah.
The assist one doesn't make much sense to me. 0 assists. Yeah, he makes the top 6% above the ball.
Well, the bottom 6%.
How do you get lower than
I'm
0?
not sure. Deary me.
Ab says we're 999 subs away from 17k. Well, we're shorter than that now. Thank you. Congrats for new heights. Jezre, thank you very much. You are part of the channel, though. You don't have to congratulate yourself, mate. I started watching from 10k, says Gary. Thank you. Annie says, congratulations, only the beginning. Thank you very much. KB, thank you. Kieran, thank you. Jordy Howeman says, onwards and upwards. Paul, thank you very much. Stu says, up the podcast league we go. Thank you very much. Neil says, congrats on 16. I remember when there was under 700. Great content and passionate Toon supporters. Thank you thank you, Neil. And I can remember those days as well. Just me and my little phone talking to what it seemed was I was talking to nobody. Please, for Billy Free to whistle some sad music. It was dreadfully lonely times back then. Yeah. I would have gone with Bright Eyes off the Watership Down, actually, Billy. But it's
what
fine.
it was.
Really? Oh yes. Well, I kind of get that now. Right, it's still terrible. Steve Marler, thanks for another $5 Australian. He says, Paul, a mate of mine is going to West Ham at St James's Park. He is an Aussie living in Spain the last 15 years. Can he meet you at the Jackie Milburn stand? Lol. How long before the game do you get there? I'll be by the Jackie Milburn statue a good hour and a half before the game. If he wants to come and say hello, it'd be really nice to meet him. Can't wait. It's live on the box here in Ontario. Yes, but what you're going to do, Jim, is turn the sound off and listen to my good vocal tones. JB says, congrats. Thank you very much. Larry Strawberry, good evening to you. John says, well done, Paul and the team for reaching another milestone. Great channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate that. Alice says, you deserve it. You're amazing. Thank you very much, Alice. Big Rob Atkinson in 2 to 3 years' time. I think he means Ron, doesn't he?
No, I think their centre half is called Rob Atkinson, but I thought it was Ron Atkinson when I thought we don't need to sign him.
Annie, I don't know any Bristol City players. I'm sorry, mate, but let's just leave it at that. Ryan says Romero would be a good long-term replacement for Shea. We're more likely in the present to win a trophy over NFL Hotspur. True. I like NFL Hotspur. That's funny. And he says, fancy giving us Fraser on loan or something like that till the end of the season. Absolutely. I'll drive in there me bloody self. No problem, Annie. Guys, would you have any problem with Fraser going to Bristol City?
Not at all.
Well, that certainly answered that very quickly. Do you know, guys, when I ask you a question, feel free to go into it a little bit more so I can have a bloody drink.
Have a drink then. Go on, have a drink.
No, it doesn't matter, Billy. We'll wait. Steve Marler says, Billy, I'm loving the banana suit. In the words of Paul Whitehouse. Oh, suit you, sir. Oh.
Can I just? I did have something to say about Fraser, by the way. I was going to save it till tomorrow, but I've got something else lined up. So many people I've seen in the last fortnight have said, Longstaff works really hard, but he's just not got enough quality. I'm sorry, but that was what everybody was saying last season when Fraser was playing, and that is not fair. You cannot praise Fraser for exactly the same thing when it was work rate. He was blowing out of his arse by 70 minutes, always lost us a substitution when we only had 3 anyway. Got a couple of reasonable crosses and goals, but now the fact that Longstaff is in the same position but is fitter, the same work rate is now a problem when Fraser was was praised for it like a god. I'm just confused. I'm really confused. There's no consistency in this whole hard work narrative. It's very odd. Somebody please explain it to me because I'm lost. I'm just lost.
Yeah. Spike Milligan, thank you for a £10 super chat. Amazing donator to the channel. Thank you so much. Congrats on reaching 16k. The doppelganger, Sheffield Wednesday fan. Come on, you mighty owls. Well, you're very welcome on the channel, my friend. Thank you for joining us. And of course, you'll be supporting your team. Rose is Tracy Simcox, right? Okay. People just disguising themselves these days. To coin a phrase, says this is a perfect chance for Maxi. 9 o'clock Monday will be our first signing. I can feel it. Can you feel it, Peter? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, Lawrence says, I feel that Manquillo, Lascelles, and Murphy are nailed on starters for this game. Oh.
I don't know. Considering all the fullbacks we've been linked with, I wouldn't be surprised to see Murphy out the door very soon.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Geordie Howayman says, what's our ticket allocation for Saturday? Shitloads, mate. We'll have the whole of that end, no doubt about it. Annie says, be careful of Josh Windass, absolute wind-up merchant. Wilkes at right wing-back is not a natural one. He's a winger, so an area that could be targeted. Maybe Jack Hunt starts, who's more of a natural right wing-back. Do you know what it is, though? That Jack Hunt, he's a bit of a... Anyway.
He's right that Windass is dangerous.
Well, he's a wind-up merchant. He is. I've seen him play before. Guys, have a word with Banana Man. Vaping fizzy drinks. New Year's resolution time. David, Billy is a grown adult. You know,
I mean, it's Coke Zero.
It is Coke Zero, yes. So there. But really,
why have you got different types of the same Coke just handy?
In case twats like David Whitecross post.
Oh dear. Look, if Billy wants to vape, he can vape, man. It's an adult world, you know. Jesus. I honestly was disappointed by the way Arteta behaved. Eddie is a well-mannered head coach and should be an example to all. No more clowns, please. Tony just wanted Mad Dog to lump him. Yeah, but Mad Dog would get into serious trouble for that. Ab says, the more I think about that Arsenal game, the more significant and epic I think it was. It was. I always know when it's been an epic game if you come off the commentary and you're absolutely pagged, which me and Billy were on the other night, no doubt about it. No Premiership club wants to do business with us. If we were any other club, we would have had Maddison last summer, says Patrick. Well, I don't know. I think they all stuck their head in the sand for a while, and things have changed now, to be honest, I think. Shane says, surely we send in a near first 11 because Sheffield Wednesday are no slouches. Spewing cool won't be involved. Yeah, unfortunately, Shane, it's not happening for you, Aussies, mate. James, good evening. Bruce would be a good cheesy chip taster. Lots of bitter Arsenal fans on social media, indeed. Obviously, Castore doesn't make hockey jerseys. Definitely not. And they never will. But there you go. You sent a few friends at Amazon a WhatsApp about the Arsehole game. They replied with laughing emoji. Not too salt. I'm not who he's talking about there, but there you go. Annie says, Alex, you rude man.
Sorry.
Yeah. Angelic has given up on our building. Too much noise for the neighbours this time of night. I like wearing my Toon top walking around town. They're all Man U and Liverpool around here. Then there's me. Good on you. Good on you. Coach Austin, thank you for your £4.49 super chat, buddy. Still been watching, guys. Haven't been in touch. Been busy of late. How are the lads? Thank you very much, bud. Tony wants to wrestle Louis. Tony, you've said some strange things tonight. Sean says, evening, lads. Saw the AFT video with Ty and a Toon fan interviewed after the Arsenal game. What an irritating little man Ty is. Great show, lads. Fez, good evening. Jesus, it's been a salt-filled week so far. Think if I had to chat any more Arsenal fans this week, I could take over Saka and sales of salt. Evening, by the way. Indeed to you as well. When's Madison signing then? Says Gary. Sheesh. We'll see. Geordie Howe, man, who's turned his profile picture into a hanging guitar. I think that's just as a clear message to our very own Stato there to sort his guitar out. TTR and the Toon have made me feel proud to be a Newcastle fan again. Thank you very much, bud. Don't small teams get a decent fee for progressing in the FA Cup? Yes, they do, but any team does, to be honest. I think it's all the same kind of payout. But
yeah, it's gate receipts and broadcasting revenue, isn't it, for the smaller clubs?
Yeah,
it keeps smaller clubs alive if they get through certain amounts of rounds.
Yeah. Stiff says, Wednesday not lost in 9 games. They will be up for it and full of confidence, especially at home. Not going to be an easy game. We've got to be at the races. Yes, and I'm sure... Listen, if one person knows that, it's our manager, right? He's not going to send them out half-hearted. And he'll kick the arse of anybody who thinks they can just turn up and roll them over. Steve Marler, thanks for another $5. He says, okay, Cobber, it's time for me to go. Congrats on the 16K. You're all awesome. How are the lads? Let's chase the Owls right out of the barn. Indeed. Darren says we will play a very strong team. I don't think Howe will want to experience a third-round defeat to a lower league team again. I do think Lascelles will play, though, possibly Dubes if he plans to keep him. Carlos has had a bit of a bad day. Needs a bit of TTR to cheer him up. Well, we hope we're doing that for you, mate.
That Cambridge game, though, if you remember, I think we actually played the strongest team we could at that time. Because I think Wilson was out, wasn't he? So we played the strongest we actually could. And
well, we played Jacob Murphy as a striker, Alex. That was never going to work in a million years.
So many crosses just to nobody.
Dear. It was a bad day. It was a bad day. Here's me going into the ground telling the kids, "Oh, you'll see Newcastle score loads of goals today."
Oh, Trippier signed, and
and all they end up getting hit with is a naked blow-up doll. So yeah, it was a downright awful day for many, many reasons. Nathan would give Joe Linton a rest for Sheffield Wednesday. Anyone agree with that? Does he need a rest?
I've not even thought about it. I'm going to start thinking about our lineups now because you can come to us in a minute, aren't you? So I'm going to start thinking.
I am indeed, yes. Space Bastard, I'd be tempted to give Lewis a go at Sheffield Wednesday.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think he's Eddie's cup of tea. I just don't. Susan says, I'll be holding on for dear life at the match. Maybe it's not this time where I'm sitting this time. Look, I'm not looking forward to the chairs, the climb up the stairs again. I mean, I may have to take my blue badge and just say, oh, I can't do this shit anymore. Put me in the lift. I think it's Europa Conference for Carabao Cup winners. Yes, because there's 2 of them, isn't it? It's not necessarily Europa League. We'll have to check that, though. Picturing Paul out of control, leaping over the barrier after the 5th goal. I won't be leaping over any barrier. I'll tell you that now.
When we scored against Bournemouth, he did not move off that chair an inch.
Alex,
not an inch.
Yes, we were very high that day, and I was very aware of me standing up and just falling. I know it was impossible to do so because the way the stand is set, which you engraved into me many times during the first 10 minutes, that it was impossible to fall. It doesn't stop the fact that I was way up high. But there you are. Trolls, thank you very much, my friend. Gary says, one skin. No, we're not even going there tonight. Target is injured. Yes, he is. Matthew says, Mendy, Madison, Thuram, thoughts? Watch the transfer shows and you'll get our thoughts. Level 7 Dave's in the house.
Hey!
Hope you're well, Level 7. And now I know why you couldn't see the match because you didn't have your fucking glasses. I understand that now, being up there myself. Sean says, any Toon review lingerie? Asking for a friend. Why would anybody want Toon review lingerie?
Nora.
Alex, she will kill you for calling her that. You do know that. You will be in her bad books for calling her that. God help you. Stiff says, the Toon in a cup final. Imagine. Oh, my God. Malcolm says, well done on reaching 16K. Well and truly deserved. Thank you very much. It's my dad's birthday, says Michael, on Saturday. All he wants is a Newcastle win. Thank you very much, Geordie Paul. Really appreciate that. Right. It's time for our lineup predictions. Okay, now, God knows where you're going with this, guys. I mean, I have no idea. Mine is interesting. Well, hang on a minute. There's a lot of comments coming telling him to get lost because Billy does what he wants. Leave War Billy alone is the message, basically, from the viewers. Bruce says, congratulations on the up, Paul and Stato and Billy and Danielle. Where is she? She's left the channel for now, Bruce. We could do with a number 10, a number 6, and a new right back and left back. Would be brilliant transfer for Newcastle. I don't think we'll get that many in, matey. But you never know. You never know. Coach Austin, thank you for another £4.49. 101 buckets to give out, 100 for Tyrone and his mates to cry in, and 1 for Mikel to spew in. There you go. Absolutely. Annie says, I reckon the Kieran Trippier is quite good too. Maybe a double deal to Ashton Gate. Yeah, good luck with that one, Sunshine. Not happening. Well, maybe it's when he's done and dusted and he's pushing a commode around or riding
to Barnsley.
Well, yeah, he likes Barnsley, doesn't he? Barnsley. Jeff says, grats on the 16K TTR onwards and upwards. Basil Brush, thank you very much for your $8.99 super chat. All ticket holders, regardless of disabled or not, are allowed to use the lift. Our steward has been fighting all season, and they do let you most times of asking. All right, I didn't know that. So there you go. There you go. Right. Who should we go for first? Alex. What would be your team for Saturday?
Or what would be my team? Or what?
What do you think Eddie Howe will go with?
Right, I think he's going to pick Pope in goal. I think we might have seen a reserve keeper, but because of all this nonsense that's going on, are we going to sign Karius and extend an extension? Dubravka's back. I think he's just going to take the easy route anyway and just be like, okay, Pope. And then I think it's going to be Trippier. Lascelles might rotate in. Botman, Byrne. I don't think he'll play Lewis.
Interesting.
And then I think he'll play Bruno with Longstaff and Willock. I think he might rest Joe Linton. Especially holding his knee a little bit as well a couple of times against Arsenal. And then I think it'll be Maxi. I think Wilson will start. He probably won't play the whole game, but he'll start. And then Murphy on the right wing. I think he might rest Miggy and try and give Murphy some minutes.
Very interesting. Billy, what's yours?
Well, I've gone a little bit different stuff. I've gone Pope in goal, same. But I think with the League Cup game on the Tuesday, I think he will rest players. I think Mankey will play at right back, Lewis at left back, Lascelles and Byrne in the middle. Willock, Longstaff and Joe Linton in midfield and rest Bruno. But the same front three of Murphy, Wilson and Maxi.
Wow, interesting. Smoky Toppers, yes, Matt Targett is injured for at least a month. It's not a very nice injury either, according to our manager. Right, my team. I think Dubravka will start. It's just a hunch, guys. It's just a hunch, but I think Martin Dubravka will start the game. Right back, I think, will be Kieran Trippier. I just think he'll play. Centre backs, I'm going Lascelles and Byrne. Left back, I'm going Jamal Lewis. Midfield, I think he will rest Bruno. I think he'll go with Willock, Joe Linton, and Longstaff. And up front, I think on the left, he'll go Maxi. On the right, he'll go Murphy. And striker, I think he's going to go with Isak for about 60 minutes.
Dare to dream.
Listen.
But if both of those things come true, if he starts Dubravka and Isak, I'll get you a rum. It's not happening.
Listen, this is just my opinion, right? I am entitled to an opinion. Do not take that one away from me, right?
You never know. It might work, and I'll get you a rum if it does, because I don't think it will.
We have a goal. We have a goal. We have a goal. Who is it, Billy? Because it's still saying 0-0 on mine.
Yeah,
Man City have scored. Man City have scored 1-0. And I think it's Mahrez, but it might. Yeah, I think it's Mahrez.
Yeah, but that's kind of good for us because we want Chelsea to kind of stay
like
all the way down where they are.
The reason why I don't think Dubravka will play, by the way, is because it'll cup time.
Well, yeah, but Russell's already asking, ain't Dubravka cup tied? No, he's not.
Man United just never played him. They played him twice.
Yeah.
Well, no one played the FA Cup, have they?
No. Francisco, thank you very much. I will reply to your email very soon, matey. Just been really busy, but we will get something sorted.
Speaking of rum.
Yes, indeed. Look, I just think because he's not cup tied and the fact that we've got this quarterfinal on Tuesday, I think Dubravka will start this game. I don't ask me why. It's just what I think. So we just have to wait and see. But I think anyway, he'll go with a really, really strong side. I've got no doubt about that. A side that he thinks will definitely be good enough to win the game. You know, he won't put a side out that's not going to be good enough to beat a League One side. And yes, we can say many, many times that, Sheffield Wednesday are a League One side and they're playing really well. They're a League One side, and that's what they are right now. And we're third in the Premier League. We should be beating Sheffield Wednesday. There's no doubt in my eyes about that.
If we want to sell Dubravka, it's a selling point if he's not cup tied, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Billy there. That makes sense.
Well, it could be, but it also could put him in the shop window, right? Just a thought. Because it's not necessarily... It might not be, England that he goes to. He could go to an overseas club. So
that's true.
It's not just England. So we need to keep that in consideration as well, because there is other leagues that he probably has an eye on. So
I think the more important thing is just I really hope Isak is at least on the bench. It'd be lovely to see him back in a match day.
Oh, squad. Absolutely.
Even if he doesn't touch the pitch, it'd be nice to. It shows he's at least fit enough to be part of the squad. So,
well, look, we'll see. But that is my predicted team. Right, Alex, what do you think the score is going to be?
That's a tough one. Probably should have thought about that, shouldn't I?
Well, yeah. Consider it's a prediction show.
I think we'll concede. Against these. I think we'll be a bit nervous or they'll get fluky. I think it'll be like a 2-1 to us. I think we'll win, but I think it might be more complicated.
Be that close, do you?
Yeah, I think it'll be more complicated than it's not. I know we've washed aside clubs like Brentford and stuff recently with big victories, but I think this might be more complicated. We've got a lot of fixtures this month, a lot more to think about. The game on Tuesday, going to make a few more rotations. Tranmere wasn't easy for us either, so no. I know it's a very different game, but I think 2-1 and we'll win.
Yeah, I think these clubs are up for it at the start, but if we get into the game, get a couple of goals, then we kill
this.
This does
feel like a Longstaff game as well. This feels like the kind of game he'll score in. So I'm going to go with who else?
We shall see. Billy, what about yourself?
No, I think we'll win 3-1. I think we'll get goals from Wilson, Joe Linton, and Willock.
Interesting. I'm going 4-0. And I think I am going with Maxi to get one because I just think he will be bang up for it. I also think Jacob Murphy's going to score in this game. I don't know why, but if he starts, I think Jacob will score. And I think I'm going to go for Willock to get 2 goals. But we shall see.
Did Jacob Murphy play for Sheffield Wednesday one time? Am I right in saying
he did, yeah. He was on loan,
He was on loan.
Yeah.
We had a bit of an army out there on loan to him, didn't we?
Yeah. He did really well at Sheffield Wednesday, actually. I think he'd get a good reception on Saturday because he did do really well for them. Fez is going 7-0 with Wood to get all 7. I mean, can you imagine what the odds would be on that? 7-0 with Chris Wood to score 7 goals. Matthew thinks 5-0 to the Toon. Rules is going 4-0 because the BBC live and show what we are capable of. I'm confident of 4-0. He went on loan to Sheffield Wednesday 3 weeks after Steve Bruce came to us, Billy. So
I've got his stats up for that season. It was in the 1920 season. He got 9 goals, 4 assists. He did pretty well. 24 starts.
Yeah, he did have a smashing. I think he's still held in high regard with the Sheffield Wednesday fans, definitely. Right, that is it for the preview show, guys. Thank you very much. Over 600 watching tonight again, which is unreal. The fact that we've gone past 16,000 subscribers tonight live on the show is also absolutely incredible. I am so proud of this channel, of these guys on screen with me, of the fantastic mod squad that we have, and of course, my right-hand lady, fiancée Susan, who is inspirational to me, and does so much for this channel behind the scenes that nobody ever sees. You know, up late at night designing stuff for the merchandise and things like that. She's just absolutely remarkable woman. She really is, and she's the heartbeat of this channel. But thank you to you guys out there who, without you, we'd be nothing. So thank you very much to everybody for watching, for subscribing, for super chatting, and for becoming members. It's absolutely fantastic to have this community, a real family spirit on this channel. So thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with TTR Friday. A new quiz. We'll try and get it going tomorrow night, actually, but we'll mention it at the start. And of course, we'll be joined by the usual clan. We'll be talking about managers tomorrow and what we can do to stop the behaviour on the sidelines. We'll have the usual camaraderie, the usual segments and things like that. So it'll be a great show. But thank you very, very much for watching tonight, guys. And we'll see you tomorrow night. I will be bringing a video out for Eddie Howe's press conference as well. So keep a lookout for that. And we will see you very soon. Good night, guys.
However, that's